World Health Organization warns the novel coronavirus is a very grave threat to the planet. In its first major conference on fighting the epidemic, Tuesday, February 11, WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus also announces the new name for the virus.
We now have a name for the disease, and it is COVID-19.
Tedros says the name means Coronavirus Disease 2019 and was chosen to avoid references to a specific geographic location, animal species, or group of people, and avoid the stigma. Around 400 scientists are taking part in the two-day international meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, to review how the virus is transmitted and the possible vaccines against it. Meanwhile, in Japan, 2 Japanese citizens evacuated from Wuhan, China, who initially tested negative for the virus, now test positive. WHO says this could be because the coronavirus's incubation period could be up to 14 days. An additional 39 people on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship also tested positive for the new coronavirus, bringing the total cases in Japan to 174. The Diamond Princess has been in quarantine since arriving last week after the virus was detected in a former passenger who got off the ship last month in Hong Kong. COVID-19 has killed more than 1,100 people, infected over 44,000, and reached some 25 countries. In the Philippines, the health department is probing 408 patients for the virus as of Wednesday, February 12. There have been 3 confirmed cases in the Philippines. United States Defense Secretary Mark Esper finds it unfortunate that the Philippines is withdrawing from the Visiting Forces Agreement with the US. Esper says it's a move in the wrong direction, adding that allies in the region are, quote, trying to say to the Chinese they should obey the international rules of order. Members of the Philippine military are generally against the termination of the VFA, with the general saying the termination will be disadvantageous to the Philippines, adding the 2 militaries would lose the capacity to exercise meaningfully. The Philippine and US militaries hold an average of 300 joint activities every year. Former Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario also denounces the termination, calling it a national tragedy that is harmful to Filipinos. But new military chief Filemon Santos Jr. is optimistic the Philippines can do without the VFA.
It's not actually kawalan because as of now you could say we have already some equipment. We could move on without VFA.
President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the termination of the VFA on Tuesday, February 11. Foreign Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin earlier warned against termination and recommended a vigorous review instead. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana also said earlier the US had given $1.3 billion in aid to the Philippines' defense since 1998, the year the VFA was signed. The Senate also urged Duterte to reconsider his order, passing a resolution Monday, February 10. But in an awkward move, pro-administration senators take back their support for the resolution. Senators Francis Tolentino, Pia Cayetano, Cynthia Villar, Bong Go, Bong Revilla, and Amy Marcos, who were not inside the session hall when the resolution was discussed Monday, February 10, say they want to abstain from the vote. Senators who were not inside the session hall were deemed in favor of the measure, but Marcos says she did not vote and she was not aware that a vote was taken.
Then why did you not object? Senator De La Rosa abstained. If you were in the hall, you should have objected. Next time, stay in the hall.
Lieutenant Colonel Jovie Espenido, one of the poster boys of President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody anti-illegal drugs campaign, is on the president's notorious drug list. 2 police generals privy to the list confirmed this Wednesday, February 12. Espenido's inclusion in the list is a blow to the government's anti-drug campaign. He earned praises from President Duterte after leading an operation that led to the killing of Ozamis City Mayor Reynaldo Parohinog, who was labeled a narco-politician. Espenido was also the chief of the Albuera Town Police in Leyte when its mayor Rolando Espinosa was killed by cops during the service of a warrant in his detention cell. Espinosa was alleged to have ties to illegal drugs. After the operations, Duterte promoted Espenido to lead the Bacolod City Police's operations arm. But on Wednesday, February 5, Espenido was relieved from his post because he was in Duterte's own drug list. The administration's drug list is notorious for poor record keeping, and its process is opaque to the public. The The Consortium on Democracy and Disinformation, better known as DND, calls the Coaranto petition against ABS-CBN a parasitic assault on press freedom and a perversion of the rule of law. In a petition to the Supreme Court, Solicitor General Jose Calida lists foreign companies which were issued Philippine Depositary Receipts or PDRs by ABS-CBN. Calida claims the scheme allows foreign influence over the Philippine media, but ABS-CBN debunks this claim, saying its PDRs were evaluated and approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as the Philippine Stock Exchange. Congress has the mandate to issue, renew, or cancel broadcasting franchises. But Calida on Monday, February 10, brought the matter to the High Court. DND notes that Calida's petition is based on patent disinformation about the use of PDRs by media companies. Media outlet Rappler, which faces a number of investigations and cases initiated by the Duterte administration, also issued PDRs to foreign entities. President Rodrigo Duterte repeatedly warned the company its franchise will not be renewed after it expires on March 30. Retired NBA star Dwyane Wade opens up about his 12-year-old child coming out as a transgender child. The Miami Heat legend says in an episode of The Ellen Show, "We are proud parents of a child in the LGBTQ+ community, and we're proud allies as well. We take our roles and responsibilities as parents very seriously." Wade shares Zion was assigned male at birth and one day came home and said, "Hey, so I want to talk to you guys. I think going forward, I am ready to live my truth. I want to be referenced as she and her. I would love for you guys to call me Zaya." Meanwhile, a private funeral for NBA legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna was held in Los Angeles last Friday, February 7, 2 weeks after the two died in a helicopter crash along with 7 others. The Bryant family wanted a private service to mourn their loss. Vanessa, the wife of the late NBA legend, writes on Instagram, her brain refuses to accept that both Kobe and Gigi are gone. Vanessa says it feels like a nightmare, but knows she needs strength to care for her 3 other daughters.